day, hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News, coming to you live from our studio in Accra. I am Ejubi Biafe Akintin. Coming up, United States Court approves Ken Ofori-Attah's permanent residency application. Also coming up, Ghana Education Service interdicts Bole SHS teacher over alleged sexual misconduct with student.
Management has directed that as early as possible, in accordance with the regulations of the Ghana Education Service, the teacher be interdicted.
Still ahead, government takes steps to resolve delays in book and research allowance payments to UTAG.
Your book and research allowance. I have a copy of the letter here signed by the Minister for Finance. What you may not be happy with is whether the exchange rate is the Bawumia rate or the John Mahama rate.
And later, Ghana Vice Captain Thomas Partey set to appear in Canadian court over entry ban ahead of Panama clash. Meanwhile, Ghanaians in Canada receive tickets ahead of Ghana-Panama game tomorrow. Stay with us for these and more stories coming up in the next half hour. We'll bring you the details shortly.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Grateful you could stay with us this afternoon. Let's begin today's bulletin from the United States because a United States immigration court has granted a petition by former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Attah allowing him to proceed with his application for lawful permanent residence. His lawyer, Frank Davis, confirmed the ruling to Citi News. The court reportedly considered consent over criminal proceedings against him in Ghana, including actions by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Mr. Ofori-Attah faces more than 70 criminal charges in Ghana while government pursues his extradition from the United States. Away from that, Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Ntwibo-Esiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, says his request for a plea bargain in the Exim Bank case is not an admission of guilt. Chairman Wontumi is facing charges including fraud, forgery, money laundering, and causing a financial loss of 30 million Ghana cedis to a public body. Speaking on Accra-based Citi FM, Chairman Wontumi insisted that the plea bargain process is a procedural option provided under the law, not an admission of wrongdoing.
What I say, but negotiation doesn't mean guilt. Negotiation doesn't mean guilt. And why he quoted the law says 2(1)(b), no, doesn't mean guilt. It's a negotiation. It's a purely negotiation. And 1079 at 1079 no, LI 2022 no, as also you know, I can clear say omo sa mra no say so it's my emra lawyer no choose say or de beka asem no sana etie but no nche say obi edifo na say no na wo what me follow. So I don't want to go in too much, but this is how the small narrative I think say I can batterize to concrete facts. This is how I think I can say it.
Chairman Wontumi also defended his decision to appoint Samuel Attah-Mensah as his new lawyer in the Samurai Boy legal mining case.
You know, law is a professional job, and everybody know about Honorable Samuel Attah-Mensah. The capability and the capacity in the law. You know, you when you talk about Attah-Mensah, you are talking about law. What I say in our Ghana has it. And you know, we bring Attah-Mensah, say or no beba na what you may share case air call any idea, you know. Na what the baby emra one. Me what I'm looking for is a fair judgment and fair hearing and fair system I'm looking for. I'm not the fair process. I'm not looking for sympathy from anywhere. What I'm looking for is fairness. Fairness. This is what I'm looking for. So I brought Attah-Mensah, say, Obetumi Ababeshwe, I'm at the fairness, and no, I'm an Abba.
You heard the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Inchiboisiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi. Now, a teacher at Boko Senior High School in the Upper East region is receiving treatment at the Boko Government Hospital after he was allegedly assaulted by some final year students. The incident is reported to have occurred after school authorities prevented the students from engaging in examination malpractice. A nurse at the hospital, Rahina Tusaid, who spoke to CNews, said the teacher's motorbike was allegedly set ablaze.
A teacher called that my stepfather, I think a senior house master called him, that the students, those who have completed or about to complete, they are in the dormitory. He heard they are in the dormitory and there are a lot of things happening there. They are lighting, fire and other things, illegal connection and other things. Can go and check. And it's like they were catching animals from the community, goats and sheep, just to do live soup and other things. Yes, so the senior house master called this man to go and check if it's true. That's what he has heard. And that master too got up and had someone, only for him to get there. And it was true that they were even smoking jots and other things. And so and a lot of phones, I don't know where they had those phones from. So all of a sudden they started attacking the teacher. And I think that particular teacher, I don't know what they used, because when I went to the hospital, he told me at that point, so when he collapsed, he only heard them make a call and say they have killed the teacher finally. To the other students that are already gone, other final year students. That Boku said. So that's what happened, that they even went to the other teacher house too and even burned his TV and other things.
You heard an account from a nurse at the Boko Government Hospital, Rahina Tusaid. The Ghana Education Service has interdicted a teacher of Bole Senior High School in the Savannah region following allegations of sexual misconduct involving a student. A viral video circulating on social media captured the inappropriate conduct between the teacher and a final year student of the school. The head of public relations of the Ghana Education Service, Daniel Fenyi, says management has already initiated investigations into the matter to establish the facts surrounding the incident. He condemned all forms of inappropriate relationships between teachers and students, stressing that such conducts are unacceptable and contrary to the ethical standards expected of education professionals.
Management of the service condemns the act. We don't tolerate and we have zero tolerance for any sexual misconduct, especially one that involves a teacher and a student. We believe that a teacher is the parent of a student, and they are under the care, the students are under the care of the teachers. So if the teachers are preying on these young ones who are already vulnerable, it becomes very problematic. Any such matter is taken with a lot of seriousness. We don't condone or countenance it in any way at all. With the teacher, we have directed that he is interdicted. Normally interdiction happens at the regional level and the district level, because it has implications for their IPPD, their salaries and all that. Of course, we have seen and heard concerns about people who seem to claim that there were two people in the act. Why target one? Target one because that one has agreed to go by the code of conduct of the profession.
That was head of public relations of the Ghana Education Service, Daniel Fenyi. Still on education, the Minister, Haruna Idrisu, has indicated that government is taking steps to address concerns raised by the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, over delays in the payment of book and research allowances. Speaking at the launch of the National Research Fund in Accra, the Minister suggested that a resolution to the issue is already underway, revealing that the Ministry of Finance has approved documentation relating to the payment of the allowances. He, however, made a light-hearted reference to the exchange rate to be used in calculating the allowances, noting that the rate approved by government could become a subject of discussion.
President of UTAG, Professor Vera, let me recognize you and to assure you that President Mahama will not give UTAG an opportunity to go on strike. Therefore, your book and research allowance, I have a copy of the letter here signed by the Minister for Finance. What you may not be happy with is whether the exchange rate is the Bawumia rate or the John Mahama rate of the exchange rate. But at least none of you will debate.
You heard Minister for Education Haruna Idrisu. The Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, says it will engage the final year student of Nyenehi Senior High School who has been allegedly assaulted by a teacher after writing Hewasi. NAT says the decision follows a court directive for the matter to be settled out of court and is intended to ensure that the students' examinations are not disrupted. The Ashanti Regional Chairman of NAT, Elvis Prince Baini, said the association will comply with the court's directive.
Currently, what the stakeholders or what those of us handling the case have decided to do, including the girl's parents, is that we worked on the psychological stability of the students in order to write the WASI when she completes her papers. Then we can call back the issue and settle it between the parents and the teacher. So currently, we are waiting on the lady to finish, on the student to finish her last paper. Then we sit down for a discussion or settlement on the case. We engaged the parents before the withdrawal of the case from the courts, but the last time we tried, but we couldn't get the mother again. So the decision that we took before the courts, the case withdrawal, one of the roadmap, the first step was to withdraw the case. Then the second step was for the students to complete the exam. Then the next step was for us to then engage the parents and look at how we can settle the issue amicably. So we have not, after the withdrawal from the court, we have not engaged the parents.
Elvis Prince Baini is the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT. Away from that, the Media Foundation for West Africa has expressed disappointment with the government's response to the Fourth Estate's investigation into road contracts awarded under the Big Push program. The investigation examined 107 Big Push contracts awarded between August 2025 and February 2026 and found that 81 of them were awarded through sole sourcing. However, government maintains that only 66 of the 140 projects awarded through single sourcing. Speaking to Citi News, Executive Director of the Foundation, Suleiman Abrahima, questioned government's transparency regarding the program.
Out of the 117 big push contracts that the John Mahama administration are awarded under the John Mahama administration, not even one went on competitive tendering. Is that in line with all that the president has been saying? First State of the Nation's address, second State of the Nation's address, the NDC manifesto, when they talk about sole sourcing must be the rarity and not the norm. Then you go and bring contracts for potholes, patching and all those things, then you lump all together. When our report did not talk about all those things, we said big push. Why are they running away from big push and adding all those things? This is completely deceptive.
Suleiman Abrahima is the Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa. Moving on, consumers and businesses are beginning to benefit from lower fuel prices as oil marketing companies, OMCs, implement downward price adjustments at the start of the second pricing window of June. Citi News' Daniel Sakiti has more in this report.
At Guel stations, petrol is now selling at 13 cedis 87 pesos per litre, down by 1 cedi 33 pesos from the 15 cedis 20 pesos per litre in the first pricing window of June, representing an 8.8% reduction. Diesel is selling at 15 cedis 95 pesos per litre, down by 55 pesos from the 16 cedis 50 pesos per litre previously, translating into a 3.3% decline. Star Oil has also reduced fuel prices. Petrol is currently selling at 13 cedis 85 pesos, down by 1 cedi 35 pesos from the 15 cedis 20 pesos per litre in the first pricing window, representing an 8.9% reduction. Diesel is selling at 15 cedis 93 pesos per litre, compared with the 15 cedis 99 pesos per litre in the first pricing window of June, reflecting a marginal reduction. The latest reductions follow a decline in international refined petroleum products prices amid easing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. For the current pricing window, the regulator has set a benchmark price floor of 13 cedis 39 pesos per litre for petrol and 15 cedis 11 pesos per litre for diesel, providing the minimum thresholds across the market.
City News' Daniel Sakite with that report. You're also listening to the City Prime News. Still ahead, Ghana Vice Captain Thomas Partey set to appear in Canadian court over entry ban ahead of Ghana-Panama game. Stay with us. We'll bring you the details of that story and others shortly.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
June is for business here at Citi FM and Channel 1 TV. This June, the ideas get bolder and the future of Ghanaian business takes center stage. Welcome to the City Business Festival 2026. For the entire month of June, 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV bring together the thinkers, builders, innovators, and dreamers shaping the future of enterprise in Ghana. From powerful business forums that spark meaningful conversations to insightful on-air discussions with industry leaders and change makers, to stories of resilience, innovation, and ambition from Ghanaian entrepreneurs. This is more than a festival. It is a movement of ideas, strategy, and impact. Whether you're starting small, scaling big, or simply dreaming of your next breakthrough, the City Business Festival is your platform to learn, connect, and grow. Join the on-air series every weekday at 9 a.m. on the City Breakfast Show on 97.3 Citi FM and at 11 a.m. with a repeat at 6 p.m. on Channel 1 TV. This June, let's challenge businesses. Let's refine ideas. Let's create impact. Call 0205-973-973 for further details. City Business Festival 2026, driving ideas into impact. The City Business Festival 2026 is powered by 97.3 Citi FM and Channel 1 TV in partnership with Absa Bank, and it's proudly sponsored by Absa Bank, MTN, Zondatech Ghana Limited, and Petra Trust.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back to the City Prime News. Thank you for staying with us. The news is live across the globe on citynewsroom.com and around the country. We're live on a number of affiliate stations. In the Western region, we're live on Beach 105.5 FM and Sky Power 93.5 FM, both in Takrade. In the Bono region, you can tune in to J Live 95.5 FM in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, tune in to Focus 94.3 FM and Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we're live on Revival 99.3 FM in Tajewu. In the Northern region, tune in to Radio Bimbala 91.9 FM, and in the Upper East region, we're live on Bolga 102.7 FM in Bolga Tanga, Pure 105.5 FM in Navrongo, Gumzong 90.1 FM in Tong, and in the Upper West region, tune in to Tungsong 97.3 FM in Wa. To some more stories, Ghanaian master students in Loughborough University are protesting at the Ghana High Commission in London today over unpaid scholarship funding. According to the students, they have not received tuition payments or monthly stipends since commencing their master's program in September 2024. Speaking to City News, the convener of the group, Noah Kra, said continued delays by the government of Ghana could prevent them from graduating on July 7, 2026.
The expected graduation was scheduled to be December 2025, but due to the delay in disbursement of our tuition fees, we were not allowed to graduate. Our graduation was suspended to this summer, 7 July 2026. In between December, when we were denied this graduation, we have had several meetings with the Ghana High Commission, relevant stakeholders at the Ghana Scholarships Authority, and all diplomatic stakeholders we can resort to. But to no avail, this issue is still not it's still pending. So right now, we think we have engaged all diplomatic means and no one is listening to us. So today, 16 June 2026, we plan to embark on a protest. And one sudden situation about our issue here in Loughborough University is that since we started our masters in 2026, not even a single stipend or tuition fees has been paid to our school. On 8th June, We went on Leicester BBC radio. When they saw the flyer, immediately the head of education and recruitment to the Ghana High Commission sent an email to the school, copying 3 of us, the students, that they have released £5,000 to each of us, which is not even up to a quarter of the money we are requesting the government to pay for us to graduate.
Noah Kra is convener for the Ghanaian master students protesting over unpaid fees at Loughborough University. Away from that, the government, through the Ghana Geological Survey Authority, has upgraded 20 of the 21 seismic data centers across the country. According to the government, the country's 21 seismic data centers had been largely inactive for several years, with only 2 functioning nationwide, thereby necessitating the upgrade. Speaking in an interview with Citi News at the sword-cutting ceremony for the upgrade, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Alma-Kofi-Boa, indicated that the upgrade is timely.
That, in fact, all of them were not working. All of them needed upgrade one way or the other. And we are very happy that under his leadership of President Mahama, we've invested enough money to upgrade all of these data centers. The last time I checked, the budgetary allocation for this project is about 28 million. But today, the good news is that we are able to tell the people of Ghana that we will give them up-to-date data when there is any risk of earthquake, when there's any risk of trauma. We are able to give them up-to-date data. This is what the research is all about.
You heard Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Alma-Kofi-Boa. Now, the minority in Parliament has rejected claims by the government that an outstanding payment of $85 million is responsible for delays in the completion of the Afare Military Hospital project. The Deputy Minister for Defence, in a recent Facebook post, suggested that the contractor had demanded the settlement of the alleged arrears before returning to site. However, addressing a press briefing, the minority said available records do not support the government's claim of an outstanding debt and therefore question the basis for the proposed payment. Here is the Deputy Ranking Member and MP for Echima, Kwawoma Kofi Amankwa Menu, addressing the press today.
We all want the Afare Military Hospital completed and operationalized to serve the health needs of the Ghana Armed Forces and the people of the Ashanti region and beyond. However, this must not become a conduit for daylight robbery. Any attempt to use the back door to pay this newly generated unjustified amount of $85 million United States dollars can only be described by the popular Ghanaian cliche, create, loot, and share. Daylight robbery. We will fiercely resist this scheme. We demand value for money, and we will protect the public purse. The government must immediately abandon this fraudulent $85 million claim, pay the outstanding $500,000 United States dollar, and ensure that the contractor completes the remaining 2% of the work without delay for use by the Ghanaian people.
You had Deputy Ranking Member and MP for Echima, Kwawoma Kofi Amankwa Menu. Now, the South African Minister for Justice and Constitutional Development, Mamoloko Kubayi, says many of the country's artists are losing performance opportunities across the continent amid rising xenophobic tensions. She said South African artists are having their gigs cancelled following attacks on foreigners. Speaking at a press conference in South Africa, the Justice Minister noted that authorities must consider ways of addressing the issue.
Majority of South African artists perform on the continent, and many of them are seeing their gigs being cancelled. So that's another impact of the work, because they benefit quite a lot. They perform on live performance events and everything. So they are receiving a thing. We've not been able to work together. So we'll definitely work together with arts and culture to understand the impact for them to get. But one artist did reach out to me to say all her gigs were cancelled on the continent. She was meant. This is an income lost by a South African. So the brand does get affected.
You heard South African Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development, Mamoloko Kubayi. Now, Ghana's deputy captain, Thomas Partey, is fighting to secure entry into Canada ahead of the Black Stars opening match of the 2026 FIFA World Cup against Panama tomorrow. According to reliable sources, the Ghanaian midfielder is scheduled to appear before a federal court in Canada at 1 p.m., where his legal team will represent him. Gabi Ofel, the City Sports Desk, has more in this report.
Thomas Partey, through his legal team, is expected to attend the hearing with the support of the government of Ghana through its embassy in Canada, as the player seeks a reversal of the ruling that has prevented him from joining the Black Stars camp in Toronto. The former Arsenal midfielder was left disappointed after Canadian authorities reportedly applied provisions within the country's immigration laws to deny him entry because of his ongoing legal proceedings in the United Kingdom. Partey has been charged with 7 counts of rape and 1 count of assault in the UK. The allegations involve 4 women and relate to incidents alleged to have occurred between 2020 and 2022. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges and strongly denies allegations. A trial is scheduled to take place later in 2026. It is important to note that these are criminal charges and not convictions. Under UK law, Partey remains presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in court. As a result of the visa denial, Partey was not part of the Ghana contingent that arrived in Toronto on Monday to finalize preparations for Wednesday's Group L opener against Panama at the BMO field. How about the Ghanaian community in Canada and how they feel about the whole episode heading into the Panama clash? Here is Samuel Attah-Mensah, Senior Manager of Cleaver Global and also represents Ekoso Boys, one of the Ghanaian communities in Toronto.
It's just rather unfortunate and it's just a distraction for the team now, but we're just hoping things are going to get better because Thomas Partey is a really good midfielder for the Ghanaian Black Stars, and without him for the team, we just hope he's going to. But I think we had the minister and lawyers are taking in charge of that, and they're trying to get things done. So hopefully we're going to have Thomas Partey. But if we don't have him, I think the team is good enough without him to win the game with Panama tomorrow.
City Sports' Gabi Ofe with that report. Now, the Eastern Regional Security Council, RECSEC, is in a closed-door meeting with the Chinese developers and their local representatives behind the controversial China Mall project in Koforidua. The project has come under intense public scrutiny, prompting RECSEC to issue a stop work order and temporarily shut down construction after the developers allegedly defied directives from the council. The situation escalated when national security operatives raided the site and arrested 6 workers. The meeting is expected to determine the next steps regarding the future of the project and compliance with regulatory and security requirements. Now, a policy and research analyst, Jonathan Gado, is calling for intensified efforts to combat corruption, noting that less than 1% of budget allocations is dedicated to supporting anti-corruption institutions. He made the call at the African Governance and Anti-Corruption Summit 2026. Speaking at the summit, Mr. Gado lamented that Africa continues to devote inadequate funding to the fight against corruption despite it remaining one of the continent's greatest challenges.
In 2021, it was 57 billion Ghana cedis. By 2025, we were at 182 billion Ghana cedis total revenue. Now, 23% of that go to education in 2020, 22% in 2021, and 15.6% of that revenue goes to education in 2025. If you go to the West today, their biggest risk is security. They allocate between 2 to 3% of their national domestic product to the fight to ensure that they are secure. So they are doing a lot of defense mechanisms, a lot of equipment and all that to protect themselves. If you come to Africa, our biggest threat is corruption. And recently, the chairperson of the African Union Advisory Board Against Corruption made a profound statement that we lose $125 billion to corruption.
You heard policy and research analyst Jonathan Gado ending today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio in Accra. Log on to citynewsroom.com for more stories. I am Ejubi Wiafe Akindimini. Thanks for listening. Good afternoon.
Citi News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.
This is the story of Anthony Owusu-Ansah and his delivery business, Shark Express. What started as one man's dream is now a